important part. And not the neat thing is, we're sales organizations that are serving people who sell for a living, whoever I'm between here, I'm sorry. Whoever we're helping them to build for a living too. So that's the bottom line, and really understanding the business and expanding your knowledge and becoming more specialists. It's going to become very important to all of you because it really is going to help build your business. And the way that it's going to happen is you're going to help brokers build their business. That in turn is going to build your business, and they're going to stay with you and be loyal. The other expert area, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes. Nope, I'm done. I mean, I got another part of the question, but think of it. Do we have a microphone in the audience, please?
Sure.
The upsell. Okay, I can hardly hear though. Sorry. I got old ears.
You know I love you.
It's just my ears are old. Everything else is better.
So I just wanted to swing back on the upsell program. Are carriers still entertaining the upsell program, kind of like what Banner has done? I know Lincoln is working on a program that helps us as case managers know at the back end how high we can try and upsell. I mean, that's the most difficult part of our job as far as upselling is knowing how far we can go without having to hound the underwriters on every single case when they've been approved.
That's a really great. That's a great question. Okay, Lauren, I'll start with you because I know the answer.
So the answer to the potential portion is yes, we're absolutely doing that. Right now we're doing it on a permanent basis, not quite on term yet. Andy Gonier, we get on term.
This is why.
That was not the answer I wanted.
But he answers good.
But he does
See,
answer.
you see, makes me look bad.
And we can harass Andy to get that done.
That's it. Raise your hands. Everybody knows who to harass. There we go.
So what you're saying is they apply for 500, but they're approved for 2 million.
Right.
Well, they're not. Yeah, go ahead.
So they applied for 500 and we'll approve them up to whatever, based on our agent amount requirements, we can do without any additional underwriting. Candidly, you have to do more detective work. You guys can find this out based off of the requirements charts that are on IDA's website, on all of our company websites. It does require more work on your part though, which we know you don't have the time to do, right? But it is one of those opportunities to look at how do I adapt, change, and mold what I'm doing today to provide greater upside opportunities for my PGAs and my agents, et cetera. And that is a step that's available there. Although it's much easier, all of us carriers out there kind of get with the program and do it for you. So we're working on that on a permanent basis right now.
It's more the financial side. I mean, yeah, we can all look it up, but we don't know what you actually look at from financial.
Well, yeah, what they're qualified for financially is what you're asking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's the thing too. And they will, by the way. I mean, and they will within limits. And that's so. For example, if there's somebody who comes in and we've got their whole financial picture and it's a $5 million application, the underwriter says this guy really could qualify for $10 million, and he should be able to put out there and say, if you submit an EKG, for example, I don't think that. But if you submit an EKG, we could approve him, or we could issue a policy up to $10 million. That's really true, right? Okay. Does any Minnesota Life have anything like that, or?
Last December, our underwriters got together in a room for a week, and I had a privilege to be a part of that week-long underwriting conversation. And they spent a lot of time talking about upsell programs because we have had a lot of our partners asking for them. And so we are experimenting with offering term upsell, very much like what you're talking about, looking at financials, and then also, like what Lauren mentioned, looking at the age-based guidelines. There is an opportunity to go up to $750,000 without any additional requirements. A little bit easier, a little bit simpler on term than it is on permanent products. But the other thing that you have that we can do for you is you do have a dedicated case manager at Minnesota Life. You guys all have VIA, so I'm going to call her your VIA. And you can reach out to your VIA and ask that question anytime, and she can get back to you with an answer. There's no need to hound an underwriter. If that doesn't come with the offer, just ask the question. We'd love to be able to help with anything like that. And if you can't get a hold of your VIA, call me. We'll figure it out for you.
And I would ditto what Nicole said. We don't have it either in our underwriting at this time. It's been talked about a lot, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. But as the industry changes and our underwriting work is changing too, we're becoming more automated, not asking for as many forms and records if we can use LexisNexis and databases for pharmacy. So it's certainly not out of the question, but in the meantime, yes, ask your case manager. They'll be happy to look into it for you, and we can get you that answer right away.
And supposedly with Prudential, it does go out on the website for permanent cases where they can find a reason it applies, but we don't see it. Unfortunately, we don't see it as often as we would like to. But another opportunity too is, like I said, on term durations, right, for example, because, 10-year term is a very common term duration, but it's really not enough. So if it's a young person, is 10 years enough? What's their plan? And brokers don't think of this, but as we expand from here, like I said, we'll talk about expanding this and really helping you get down to the details, maybe in some form of study group. We'll help you to get there so that you can possibly grow this. So now the other area of expertise, those
Here's quick question.
yeah,
I assume underwriting doesn't change at all by duration of term.
you're correct. It does not. It does not. So
You may
right.
apply for a 10-year, but you get a 30-year.
Right, exactly. You can simply change it based on age, of course, but yes, that's a great point. The underwriting doesn't change based on duration. So if you put in for a 10-year term, or your broker is going to put in for a 10-year term, and during the course of the conversation, you're saying, he's a young guy, he's got a young family, and so whatever, all these carriers you can convert. So, maybe, is he going to be ready to convert in 10 years? Or is he just still going to be getting, his career started? Maybe a 20-year term is a little bit better, and then that gives him more time to, whatever it is. But the dialogue, somebody needs to be thinking of it, and the brokers, sadly, are not.
I want to add, because I am in sales, I just want to add one more idea when it comes to term. We talk a lot about upsell and death benefit. You can also upsell in term ladder. So maybe they came with a 10-year term, but you could also go 15, you let the 10-year drop off eventually. Or if we're really good, not we in this room, but if the agent's really doing their job, they do something with that 10-year and they have that 15-year and that 20-year to do something with too. If it's not the case and they can't get to the person, whatever that looks like, the 10-year drops off, they have extra money in their bank account and we find something else to do with it. Something like that. If we talk a lot about it, that's what I want to get out. We talk a lot about the death benefit upgrade, but they buy a $250,000 permanent policy because they want the cash value to grow. That's not their human life value. Their human life value is $1 million, but they probably can't afford $1 million in permanent insurance, nor do they, the idea of it, they can't quite grasp yet. Mr. and Mrs. Agent, we talk about their human life value.
Yeah.
We're, as a salesperson, I'm so happy to talk to you guys about that.
So I think what I hear you saying is you'll be a volunteer mentor for the study group. You heard that too, right? Yeah, Mr. Shutter heard it. Okay. No, Lauren, we got one. Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay, and then the other area of expertise, so those high touch, right, the impaired risk cases, the larger cases, they're never going to go away, right? We're always going to need that. So underwriting expertise is always going to be necessary. If you stop and take a minute and you kind of think of, for those of you who are doing case management work, there's two components, right? And most of us are wired one way or the other. Like, what's my favorite part? Do I really like the relationship piece of it with my broker and kind of the sales marketing better? Or am I really more wired to be a medical person, and do I really like that underwriting thing? So if we expand into the underwriting area, right, and so we'll go ahead and start with Minnesota Life, how can a case manager expand to be more of an underwriting specialist?
Oh boy, that's a great question. And again, I go back to LOMA classes, right? Before we can start specializing in anything, we have to learn about it. We can learn about it from our LOMA classes. We can call our carriers and ask questions. We can learn from others in our office. And then taking the time to dive deeply into your cases, no longer looking at the surface. We're not looking at the check boxes. We're getting in there. And as a case manager, sometimes I have to get up from my desk and I have to march over to my underwriter and I have to say, my job is case management, your job is underwriting, but I need to dive deeper in what you're thinking. Explain to me what's happening in this case and why you're going where you're going. Sometimes it's medical, sometimes it's financial, sometimes we need to talk about the source of funds and why the underwriter is sticking. Sometimes we need to talk about where the agent is coming from and why the agent has worked with their marketer to design something the way that it is. And as a case manager, I may not know everything. I will never know everything. But I will always know when it's time to ask a question, when it's time to pull in another expert. And that seems to me to be an incredibly valuable opportunity. I know my job, I know what I do, but I also know that there's a lot I don't know, and sometimes I need to bring somebody else in and learn and ask questions and put some people together so that we can figure out how to get past the plateau, past the barrier, get a client to where they need to be, get the case that you need in your hands so you can get it to the agent and everybody can get paid.
And I'll ask you to give it to Lauren. So again, from a case manager enhancing their value proposition to become more of an underwriting expert, how would you?
I think, you made a really good point, Nikki, about the fact that underwriting is multifaceted. So it's not just medical impairments, it's also financial viability and the reason for the insurance. So as a case manager, if you know the whole story of the sale and you understand the sales concept of what actually drove to get to the application and what the client need is to get them into underwriting a formal application, and the underwriter's looking at the financial angle of it and saying, I don't know if this makes sense. If you know that front end piece, you can really act as an advocate to help push that through and get the underwriter to understand this is why we're writing this insurance and this is why this client needs it. So I think addressing the fact that underwriting is multifaceted is very important. I think it's also, as a case manager, you may not have to know the ins and outs of how, one carrier handles A1C levels at X and another one doesn't. But knowing some of the big ticket items like smokeless tobacco, marijuana use is becoming more and more popular, or at least out there. I can't speak to the popularity, but how
Said the
carriers-
pregnant lady.
but how carriers treat those and look at those is important. Also, capacity retention, jumbo limits on large cases. Those are all kind of big ticket, hot topic items that even if you just have a cursory understanding of where carriers fall into those categories, can really help you position a case if it pops up with something unexpected.
That's a great point, because on those times when a broker brings to you a huge case, I need $100 million line. Helen, you deal with those all the time, right? And you need to, you can't, look like a deer in headlights. You really have to give the confidence that I know how to work these. And so that's more expertise. That's a great point. And North American, as we know, every underwriter offers the best possible underwriting offer every time.
Yeah, and just to add, I think you guys got all my topics there, but, getting to know your underwriter, getting to know your agent that you're working with, who they have as customers is really key in keeping that communication open between all parties. I think will help you speed the case through, understand the best carrier for that case, because every case is different, and there's different products and different ways people underwrite. So the more you get to know your agents, their customers, and your carriers, you'll be able to drive that case even better.
And don't give up yet. We'll start at your end. So now we go into like the case designers, right? Because sometimes people, you get a phone call for an illustration, and historically, right, those people have been order takers more or less, right? And so basically, I give me a 10-year term for protective because Jamie Ferguson bowls well. Okay, well, that's just not the best reason, Jamie. I'm sorry, love you to death, but it's not. So what can the case design people do to kind of enhance their value proposition a little bit?
I'll take that. So, as mentioned, case managers or case designers, when they're designing an illustration, at least on the sales team that I manage, we ask a lot of questions when the agent first calls in, just because we want to make sure that we're providing a product or designing an illustration that's actually what the client is looking for, because sometimes what the agent thinks the client is looking for and what they actually should be designing are two totally different things. So we do a lot of training and development on the sales side of things. So at the general agency or the NGA level, I would just recommend or highly emphasize the fact that you need to add more value than a spreadsheet. You have to add more value than a price. If you go go to the car dealership to buy a car, maybe you're having a new baby, so you want to get a minivan. I'm not saying you're a minivan. Sorry, but you're not going to the car dealership and saying, I want the cheapest car on your lot. I want to put my wife in the clunker in the back that doesn't drive. You want the car that's...
You met my husband.
Yeah. You want the car with the safety features. You want the car with stability. Is it a dealer that's gonna be around for warranty work? Maybe if that car doesn't suit your needs in 5 years when you have a second child, can I trade it in and convert it to something new? So just having those missiles in the back of your tool belt as a marketer is huge. What training and development programs are you offering at your MGA? Are you doing lunch and learns with your agents via webinars? Are you giving them new sales ideas? It doesn't take a lot to find new markets and open up new opportunities. So I think that's where you can add your value going forward. I love the car sales analogy. That was wonderful. I'm so impressed with you. You know, a couple of years ago, I had the most interesting conversation with an agent that involved a picture being emailed to me. And it was a photo of a 50-some-year-old man riding on, what do you call those things with the two wheels that you stand on? A Segway, riding on a Segway on a beach in California. And in the email that came along with it was, I'm calling you right now. And then I answered the phone, and the agent said, I have this client, and he's 55 years old, and you can see from the picture that he's super healthy, and here's his backstory. Right? You all had this phone call, haven't you? I've known him for 30 years. He's really healthy. He lives next door to me. I know that he's healthy. He's never been to the doctor. And so, as we talked through this, and he told me this client's story, and I got our case designers on the phone. Because I'm not a case designer, I'm a case manager, but I connected those dots for that agent. His one-stop shop, right? And I'm sitting there listening to my marketer do this. From this huge picture of this guy on the beach with this broad story, he's taking all of these different options, right? And there's long-term care, and there's options, there's accelerated underwriting, there's do we do that, do we not do that, how much face amount do we need, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the agent is talking, and then as my marketer finishes, suddenly he's created this little tiny, narrow, simple path for the agent. Just by understanding a little bit about the underwriting, a little bit about the service process, a little bit about the relationship that this person has built with the agent, they were able to pinpoint for that agent exactly where the agent needed to go to get the best product, the best match for that client, the best service, and the best simplicity. So in 5 minutes, they had it pinpointed. That is incredibly valuable to an agent, because when you can take such a big picture and make it so small and so simple, that agent has just gained back tons of time for doing what they do best, which is selling.
Is anybody beside me wondering why he's so healthy? He wasn't running on the beach, he was on a Segway.
That's exactly what I thought. He's so healthy he can't walk a beach.
Sorry.
You met that guy? I'm going to combine my answer to this with also a business building idea and how our case design folks and our licensing folks can really enhance their value is about asking questions, right? And I think everybody said the same thing up here. But the one question I would highly encourage that they all incorporate is he married? And that might be presumptuous. You could be different than the averages. But 80% of the applications we take at Prudential from all of you are on males. Women are making up more and more of the workforce. In fact, now it's over 50% are breadwinners in their household. They will be the vast majority of beneficiaries of wealth in the next transfer of dollars that occur in the next, even as early as 5 years. And candidly, women are a much better referral source. So for your agents looking to grow their business, statistics tell us that a male is likely to refer 11 of their friends over a full lifetime relationship with their financial advisor or their agent. Females are more likely to refer 26. So by having a conversation with the spouse of the male that we did take you're not only getting 2 apps, but you're also opening up a much larger avenue for business and future business down the road. So I think just incorporating the question about asking about the spouse, asking about, the females in their world is a really important part to growing their value prop.
That's a great point, and we've heard this before, right? We've all heard the same thing, and the important thing is, and you've heard it probably, this is going to be the 3rd time, at least you've heard it from somebody up on the stage, but how many of you who are actually working in GA's office consistently ask every time you talk to a broker about a case, is he married? It's real important, because when you're doing this, you are also building your broker's business, and that buys loyalty. Once they are producing enough business, any given broker, they're not going to bother you about an extra 2 or 3 points of commission. They're not. If you're helping them to build their business, then they're just going to be loyal to you for that. And while you're building their business and their cases are coming to you, right, your business is growing too. So that's really important. So thank you for starting on the business building tools and resources. We're going to send it down to Minnesota Life.
There are a lot of tools coming from all of the carriers in this room. We're all developing accelerated underwriting programs. We can insure a 55-year-old up to $1 million with no little plastic cup and no needle in a lot of cases, and that's exciting. And that is a tool that we can use to build a business. You can get those cases placed fast with your young, healthy people. That's exciting. We have a brand new website that helps you, the BGA, get real-time status. You can upload your forms. You can communicate directly with people who are involved in the case, your underwriters and your new business coordinators, right from within each case. There's even a little tracker like Domino's Pizza does to tell you the status of each one of your cases at a glance. We have awesome e-apps so that you get your applications in good order, things get underwritten faster, they get entered faster, orders get placed faster, your agent gets paid faster. All of that's really exciting, but the thing that I love the most valuable tool that I think that we have is relationships. You have a dedicated case manager for every single one of your BGAs. You get to work with Leah, and she is one of our best case managers. She's been in the business for a long time. She knows what she's doing, and she's not processing your cases. She's not doing the paperwork. And what's amazing about that is that the only thing she is there to do is help you with anything that you need. She's there to get up and talk to your underwriter. She's there to get on the elevator and talk to a marketer. She's there to call Nancy Cook, who is your national account sales director, if something goes awry. She's there to help you make your jobs easier, take work off your shoulders, and get your cases placed faster. You each have dedicated underwriters, 2 of them, so that when you have an underwriting question, someone is there to answer for you. We have quarterly calls where every single quarter we want to connect with you. We want to find out how it's going. How are things working? What can we be doing better? How can we better serve you? And all of that relationship building that you can also do back to your agents is the most powerful tool that I think that we have to offer you right now.
That's right, and the most important sales tool in your office, right? It's your phone. Emails are nice because they're really great covering tools, but the truth of the matter is you don't build a good relationship in emails. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm in a bad mood, somebody can tell me I look really nice today and I might not read that very well. The phone is a really great sales tool on your desk, and it's a great relationship building tool. So thank you for bringing that to light. And then North American.
From a North American standpoint, we have what's called the partner program as a business building tool. We've had great success with it over the last decade. Some of you in the room, we work very closely with, helping you bring your NGAs, maybe some missed opportunities that you haven't maybe found yet within your niche or the target market that you're working within. But if you haven't explored the partner program with North American, we have awesome sales ideas, but tools, and we're not just going to dump a webinar on you. We did a dedicated resource directly from sales, as well as a dedicated new business team. We partner with you as well to really find a new organic business. We're not looking to regurgitate old term cases and convert them into something new. We really want to help your business grow, so we commit with you to do that. And really, it's like adding 3 staff to your MGA because you're getting one of us to help build that business. So we tout it. If you're interested in it, we definitely want you to stop by and talk to us, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And then from the case manager perspective, like I said, our jobs are changing too in our offices, and so their roles are changing. So I would say look for different communication from your case manager at North American, and I'm sure the other carriers as well, because they're getting more involved. They're spreading their wings out there. They're getting to know underwriting more, products more. We're sharing partner playbooks. We do check-ins. We do game plan calls. You know, use those times, those availability, what works for you. We don't want to harass you and make you never want to pick up your phone again. We want to partner with you and be a resource for you, and so we appreciate any feedback you give us, and we're there for you, so thank you.
So this is really what, I think we would call the one potato chip part of the whole thing, right? I mean, there was a lot of good thoughts, but Dick Shetner, I don't think we necessarily wanted to end here, right? Like, there's a lot of great, the other carrier people who are at the tables, if you could just stand up for a second for me, please, because I'm volunteering you for something, please. So all of these wonderful carrier people that are standing, right, we're not going to let it end here, are we? We're going to go ahead and put together, all these fine people that are standing are going to go ahead and put together a study group for you. We'll work together. Don't try and sit down, Mr. Brown. Try and put something together. So if you're interested, because it really is important that we do this, and it's all going to be funded by Mr. Sladek over at Mutual of Omaha, because we've got a lot of money. So please, we're going to talk about this further with Ryan and Dick Shetner, and if you really want to talk about how all of these carrier people can help you and move you into kind of the next generation of this business, we would be more than happy to, would we not, folks? Okay, thank you, so Mr. Shetner. Anything
Are you all done?
I'll shut up for a minute.
Is the panel done or not?
Panel